Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Staci.
And I'm your co-host, Sarah.
And I don't know if it's just because I also host a movie podcast and I had just recently done a couple of movies about vampires, but the first story completely freaks me out and I'm amazed that people are so calm, which is that I believe it's a man, posted a video of the wall outside his office window, which was completely covered in bats.
Oh, wow.
And this is in Houston, which is not, again, I'm thinking of vampires. So it's Houston and vampires. No?
I don't know if there's a connection to you. I know that there is a bridge in Austin where you can go and at sunset, the bats fly out and it's really cool to watch, but also a little thinking about underneath that bridge. Yeek.
Yeah. So this is not normal. I struggle to say that any other way. This is not the normal case for this wall. And it's not quite a wall. It's like a sort of decorative column that's about like a foot out from the actual wall. And then it goes around and then comes back in. And evidently this happens every year, according to the person who posted this video.
Oh, okay.
He thinks that maybe the bats are migrating.
And it's like a rest stop on their migration path?
I didn't know that. Do bats migrate? And if they do, I'm very thankful they don't migrate here, because I've never actually seen a bat in real life. Thankfully.
Oh, I have.
But yeah, it's not sure. They do this every year, but I can imagine like the first time you see this, that first year, I'd be completely freaked out. I'd be like, is anybody else seeing this? Are we like entering the vampire era? Do I need to like go quickly find something in this office to fashion a steak out of? Like, no one else is freaked out here?
Well, bats hibernate from late fall to early spring. Migrate.
Yeah, and these bats, like, it was daytime, and again, I don't know if bats are totally nocturnal, but they're very much stuck with vampires in my head right now.
Sure.
They were moving around a lot.
Many species of bats move between summer and winter habitats.
Huh.
Some search for more abundant food sources in warmer locations, and others seek ideal habitats for hibernating in winter or raising young in summer. So,
that's okay. Again, very thankful they don't come here. I am not calm enough. And I know bats, they supposedly are good and not actually vampires. And
they eat bugs, lots and lots of bugs.
But also, no. Just A, no.
Not so much.
And B, don't swarm. Just A, don't swarm. But B, don't swarm the outside of my office. Like, I would not get any work done that day whatsoever. If that's my seat next to that window, I'd just be constantly looking at them and thinking, you're just waiting for me to like drop my guard and then you'll attack somehow.
How long are they there?
It wasn't clear.
Okay. I'm just wondering if they get there in the morning after flying all night and they sleep during the day and then poof, they're gone the next day.
They're really restless sleepers if that's the case. There was a lot of rustling and moving, and I'm more sort of like, what are you even hanging on to? Because that's a straight up wall. Like, I guess it's maybe sort of porous and there are holes in it, but what are you even hanging on to that you're right there? Like, what? But now I'm also thinking of a bat version of the birds. And
right.
Sufficiently terrified.
You are not going to sleep tonight, I fear.
Right? My imagination is all sorts of off, but thankfully I don't live in bat territory.
There are bats here.
No, there aren't. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, when you're out at night and something flies by you, probably not a bird.
Thanks for that. That's very helpful. Awesome.
Not a problem.
But not as creepy as the next story, which I kind of have to preface in that I am thankfully from California, born and raised here, save for a small amount of time where my sister was born in North Carolina. But my mother's family is from Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And we went there the summer my sister graduated from college, because it was like she went to an East Coast college and we're all on the East Coast, so we might as well also go up to Massachusetts and see the family members out there. So hot and humid. Oh my gosh. Like, walking through soup is what it felt like. Mm-hmm. And I said this to, I don't know if it was my cousin or somebody who lives there all year. And they're like, oh, well, you're very lucky you didn't come during one of the summers when the cicadas come out.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, I'm sorry, what? The what now? Because evidently cicadas, I want to say bloom, but that's not the case. Swarm. I'm going with swarm. There's lots of swarming. Swarm every so many years after they've been hibernating before birth. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Huh.
But then they like basically cover everything, and I'd be like, nope, I am out of here. I'm gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen an actual cicada. I mean, I know it took me a really long time to figure out what that word was in books, like how to say it. I knew how to. I knew what it was, but yeah.
But so, anyways, I'm quite amazed at this next story, which is that a woman filmed from the safety of her car, because she was smart, a gas station in Tennessee that was completely swarmed by mayflies.
Ew.
Like, this looks, again, somewhat post-apocalyptic or something. I don't quite know. You see there, like, I don't know what gas station this is anyways, but even if you did, you'd have a hard time telling, because they're completely covering, like, the majority of the pump near her.
Mayflies aren't that big, are they?
But there were a lot of them.
Wow. Well, that's what I'm saying. There would have to be if they're... Wow.
It was a crazy amount. They're covering the pump near her, the pump down the road from that one, and then you can just see them in these, like, rotating swarms around the lights at the top of the cover for the gas station. And it really looks like post-apocalyptic for something. And she actually
oh yeah, it looks like it's snowing in one picture.
Yeah, she actually asked in the video, like, is this locust or something? And I'm like, yeah, it kind of does seem like a plague or something. She's like, what is this? And there's a man actually pumping gas while she's filming this. I'm just like,
he's like, mayflies, whatever. I need gas in my car.
Like, and she's from Tennessee, and I'm not quite sure how far this gas station, if this is a regular gas station for her, and she's just never seen this before, or if she was visiting somewhere. But I'm just like, what?
Okay, I'm gonna say right now, Staci,
nope,
don't Google mayfly swarm. Don't do it.
I watched the video.
Yeah, no,
again, lucky me in that I've never had to deal with swarming anything, save for those little annoying little gnats or whatever that all sort of circle around each other under lights. Mm-hmm. They probably circle other places, but I only see them under lights and then try to avoid walking into them.
Right.
But yeah, swarming, I don't know how you deal with swarming anything.
I don't know if it's swarming, but we used to get infestations of box elder bugs in the summer. I don't know if you know what a box elder bug is.
No.
They're gross.
Yeah.
And I remember one summer my grandfather vacuumed them all off they were covering the wall of their house or something, and so he vacuumed them up and then flushed them down the toilet.
Oh no.
And I don't know how old I was, 4 or 5. I refused to pee for the rest of the day because I was afraid that I was just going to be attacked by angry box elder bugs.
Right? Like, that would be my thought. Like, if I want them to go away, my first thought would be, like, get the hose and spray them, but then they'd attack me because they're always better at attacking me than I am at avoiding them. Just any bug, period.
Yeah. I don't really have a problem with bugs, but, you know, like, many, 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 many thousands of bugs altogether, yeah, that's kind of gross.
I have a problem with bugs.
I know you do.
Like, I'm not even... I generally think of myself as, you know, like, rather independent, and I could live on my own and, you know, fix a leaky pipe or whatever if I needed to, be both the man and the woman of the house. But if there is a bug, I am, like, typical screech, someone else kill it, run away. I don't want to deal with it. I once was I wasn't even locked out. I just refused to go in my dorm room for like 20 minutes because somehow a wasp had gotten in.
Oh, well, wasps are nasty.
And I knew it wanted to get out, and so I should go open the outside door, and I just couldn't.
Nope.
I was like, because I expected to like dive bomb me the moment I stepped foot in that room, and so I just stayed outside my room whimpering until someone in the hall heard me and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "There's a wasp." She went in, opened the door, and it was out in 2 minutes.
Right.
Because
well, that one day you came and got me because there was a mosquito eater in the studio, and then when I came, it was gone, and so it was either taunting you or it flew out when you opened the door.
I feel there must be like some underground network with like a list of all the people who are afraid of bugs. And
or it's like cats who know when you're allergic and they just want to snuggle up with you. Bugs know when you don't like them.
So what you're saying is I need to go develop an allergy to cats so they will come snuggle me. Yeah. They never come snuggle me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
Okay, good. Now I got a plan. All right. So we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC, Invicta FC, Bellator, and one championship. We got the fights covered. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts. Past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to GSMC Weird News Podcast, where the theme of only my second show is evidently all the things that scare Staci.
Oh no!
Because the next story is that there are possibly bird-eating tarantulas loose in Britain.
Oh. Did someone bring it as
film.
Did someone bring it as a pet and then let it loose and then it started breeding, or what happened?
Maybe, possibly. They think someone probably brought it and smuggled it in or something. But there were 10 pots that were found at the side of a parking lot. Mm-hmm. And in those pots, they found 3 baby Brazilian tarantulas. Ugh. And the pots actually had a label which said Brazilian pink bird-eating spiders on them. And some of the pots were broken. And they think maybe like
this does sound like a horror movie,
right?
Like you find it and oh no, the pot's broken,
and then it got out and it goes wild, and we have to figure out a way to contain it. Yeah. So 2 of the pots were broken, and so the animal rescue group thinks that maybe they were broken by cars, and the baby spider's parents were in those pots, and so they got out and are just out wreaking havoc,
eating birds, and
right. There will be no birds in Britain anymore.
You know. I don't have a problem with spiders generally until they're huge.
Yeah.
Tarantulas creep me out, maybe because they're so big and they're so hairy. Maybe all spiders are hairy, but you can't see it.
See, the only spiders I don't have a problem with, and I'm not even sure they're technically spiders, maybe they're mites or something, is the little small ones that look almost like the size of an ant if you spun it around for diameter. Mm-hmm. Those really tiny ones. Yeah. So long as they don't come near me, I'm fine. Right. Anything else, immediately, like, I need a shoe. I need something.
I don't have a problem with the little ones, but the big ones, they just...
No. But yeah, these can grow up to have a leg span of up to 10 inches.
No.
And I'm just like, why? How did you get this into Britain?
Okay, see, now I'm all itchy. I mean, I didn't get itchy during the cicada mayfly conversation, but we're talking about tarantulas, and I'm itchy.
I don't understand how you didn't. Swarming things that can get in your clothes. Why are you outdoors? But tarantulas that I can see, but also could attack me.
Right.
That makes
and
me
eat
itchy.
my birds.
Yeah. It's just also, why is that a thing? Like, I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I guess when you get to a certain size, you got to up your prey.
I guess, but just the fact that, like, this is a pot with a label.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Brazilian pink bird-eating spiders, okay, just so you know.
So I understand that, maybe the cars hit them and they got out, but why were they there in the first place?
Exactly.
Why did the pots just get left?
And more importantly, and this sort of goes back to when on the movie podcast, you and I talked about Jurassic World, and I was like, just let the dinos die. Mm-hmm. This is sort of my same thing here, because the animal rescue group has actually taken the pots that weren't broken and is keeping them warm just in case there might be eggs in them so they can hatch. And I'm just like, but why?
Stacy's like, put them in the freezer!
Let the tarantulas die.
You're not keeping them warm.
I was just like, what is, I mean, clearly they're not, native, and you don't know what they're going to do to the ecosystem. And so why, like, obviously they're fine. Why can't you just send them back? Or why do you want them to hatch? Like, we have to be nice just in case they might hatch, and then we'll do what with the things that grow up to 10 inches? Like, what is the plan here, Animal Rescue Group? I know that's like your mission statement is, caring for animals, but why?
but why?
I'm questioning your mission statement. Why do we have to care for the bird-eating spiders?
Oh yeah, see, there's this reminds me of a comedy bit by Dennis Leary. He's an actor, but he's also a comedian, and he talks about how we only care about the cute animals.
Yes,
like the otter who lies on his back and does cute human things with his hands.
Right,
love it. The cow, they're like, no, you're a baseball glove.
Yeah, exactly. Save all the dinos that won't eat you. Save all the things that won't eat you.
Cows won't eat you.
Your bird. Like, I mean, if this thing gets big enough to eat a bird, I'm terrified if it's just like wandering around people's backyards. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and then children.
We have tiny little dogs. Would it eat my dogs?
It might. I'm not even sure how big of a bird this thing can eat. Because like 10 inches of a leg span. Oh my God.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Yeah, but no, now I'm like terrified of like, again, horror film. So unsuspecting child playing in their backyard.
Even the horror film, Lord of the Rings has that giant spider in it.
It does?
Yeah.
Wait, now I'm thinking of Harry Potter. Where's the one in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yeah, Harry Potter, too. Lord of the Rings, when Samwise and Frodo are going through they decide to go through the caves.
Oh, yeah, the thing.
Gollum kind of tricks them into going, and yeah.
Oh.
And she spins up Frodo into
like
the web.
That, but on a bird level.
Yeah.
And then we spin the birds into webs, and now I'm
suck them dry.
Super creeped out. And I want to know.
Oh, it's kind of a sucking things dry episode, too. I mean, you were
really
with the bats and the vampires and
all the stuff that just freaks Stacy out.
Poor Stacy. She's not going to sleep after this episode. I hope you're happy, listeners.
Right? Darn it, listeners.
What she does for your weird news entertainment.
But I also wonder why they're pink. Like, are they pink or they only eat pink birds?
Yeah, that's...
Brazilian pink bird-eating spider. The placement of that adjective is a little weird. Is the spider pink or the birds it eats?
Right, I only eat the pink birds.
The flamingos. Thank goodness they're not in Florida. What? Like, what makes this a pink? Unless it's actually pink. Is it a pink spider?
Oh, yeah. The Brazilian pink bloom tarantula is pink. It's actually kind of pretty if you get over its size.
I'm just hoping that the pinkness makes it like easier to see.
It's kind of pink and purple.
See, that just makes it look more terrifying.
It is. Wow.
It's like this is especially the spider that would belong to an evil witch. Right. That is exactly what this looks like. The listeners can't see it, but if you have
it's quite lovely.
Look it up.
Yes. I mean, like,
it looks almost like, a fake spider they'd sell at Halloween.
Yes.
But it's a real thing that eats a bird, so now I'm even more terrified. There are vampire bats and swarming mayflies that won't let me pump gas, and evil witch tarantulas that will eat the birds I don't even have.
Wow.
Why, nature, why? And just like, it's really hot right now because of summer. Just nature.
Stacy is not happy with Mother Nature right now.
Mother Nature and I need to sit down and have a heart-to-heart, girl to girl, heart-to-heart. You're not being very cool.
No.
Like, literally, and also just whatever with animals and bugs. I don't know why this just so freaks me out. And the fact that there are 10 pots, I'm just like, how many does that mean?
At least you don't live in Britain.
Well, now I'm like super worried that like there's more of them and they somehow managed to get out and the babies just didn't figure it out. Because you have 10 pots and they have labels on them, including one that specifically says Brazilian pink bird-eating spider. So we know what it is. and you only find 3 baby tarantulas in 10 pots?
Yeah, you want to know something even worse?
No.
They'll bite without provocation.
What the heck, witch spiders?
And flick their hairs at you, which can cause skin irritation.
Well, that's a new one. Flicking their hairs. That I've never quite heard of as a weapon choice.
Well, I don't do it, but my hair probably wouldn't hurt anybody.
But now I feel like the animal rescue just didn't count or didn't see the, easily not noticeable sign that clearly these spiders have escaped. And so rather than looking for like the parents, like 2 parents, we're actually looking for like 20. There are 20 tarantulas running around Britain. There aren't, maybe. We don't know exactly. We're not sure if any are, but now I'm super terrified of like crazy things going on in Britain. And again, this is the start of a horror film.
Well, now the ones that I'm seeing, they aren't pink for the ones that are loose.
Okay.
So, Britain, you didn't get the pretty ones.
Or maybe the ones that escaped were pink and the ones we have aren't.
Well, yeah, on the pink bloom tarantula, it's the females are brown and the males are pink and purple because, of course, nature.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe the female went off.
Or maybe pink bloom tarantulas are different than bird-eating I don't even know.
All sorts of terrifying things, and also science that confuses us. This is just because horrifying story all over.
This is what happens when I try to talk and read things on the internet while talking.
I also am very upset at whoever bought these pots and then just left them there. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Well, unless this was an evil plan to invade Britain with bird-eating tarantulas, in which case, what kind of plan is that?
That's a bad plan.
This feels almost like a Dr. Evil plan of like sharks with lasers and let's invade with bird-eating tarantulas because that will totally
It definitely sounds like a bad TV plot.
It really does. I have to think of it that way so that I don't, get terrified. So we're going to take another short break. Stay tuned.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. So, we live in California, but not in the, thankfully not in the catch on fire every summer part of California.
Although there are fires relatively close this summer.
There are, but not in the I have to evacuate my home part. I don't live in a... If that happened, there's a whole other problem going on there besides just the fire if it got to the point where my house could burn down by, because of a fire and not, specifically something about my house.
I've had to evacuate. Not in California, but in Montana.
I was about to say, you had to evacuate here for a fire?
Nope.
Okay.
Montana.
Yes. But because of that, I also don't live in the parts, also kind of thankfully, where it's oh, hey, wild animals that I have to deal with.
Oh.
And you keep seeing stories about this, especially now that it's summer. I keep seeing stories of bears getting in hot tubs or water trucks. I'm just I get it. It's hot, but also I'm super terrified. How can you get anywhere near my sort of property here? Why is that the case? I don't want to live somewhere where, that noise outside might be a bear or a mountain lion or anything like that.
I grew up in that area, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I love bears and I want to go play with it in my yard, but I have a healthy respect for wild animals, but that just doesn't oh, yeah, okay, a moose might wander through. Or my grandparents one summer had a moose that just kept hanging out in their yard.
See, and I did a summer camp up near Quincy where about halfway through, we got reports of a mountain lion had been spotted by like people walking their dog at sunrise or sunset. So, you know, not to go out during those times. And it was a camp, so I was staying in a cabin, but then there was like a communal bathroom that had its own little thing, so you had to leave your cabin to go to it.
Right.
And of course, like the day after this was announced, I had to go to the bathroom at night. I sprinted to that bathroom and sprinted back to my cabin.
Now I'm just thinking of the Parent Trap. Did you take 2 sticks and clack them together?
I almost wanted to. And like every sound made me, I took my cell phone so I could use it for a flashlight. And I don't even know what my plan was, like just to scream really loudly if I saw it. I was terrified, but I really had to go to the bathroom. I mean, dang it.
I grew up hiking in Montana where you don't want to be, you want to be kind of as noisy as possible in certain areas because you want to alert the bears that you're on the way. And then usually you don't even see them because they'll wander away when they hear you.
See, and I wonder now if this next thing would work as well, because a Lake Tahoe woman managed to make a bear go away using her quote unquote mom voice.
Wait, I saw a video on this. It wasn't Lake Tahoe. I think it was Alaska, and it didn't work at all. But the woman was like, "Please, Mr. Bear, don't eat my kayak." She kept like trying to reason with the bear who was just demolishing her kayak, and she kept saying, "Please, Mr. Bear." And it's not funny, but I felt bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't reason with it.
Right, exactly. Maybe that's why this one worked, because she wasn't even trying to reason. She was like, I'm telling you how it is.
Right.
This is not going to happen.
What'd she say?
Go put your toys up. So, no.
You're in timeout.
Right. No. So, and again, she's up in Lake Tahoe, so maybe like you in Montana, they're just more used to bears and therefore don't freak out as much, where of course I would like immediately run inside and lock all the doors.
Not a bad plan.
Call whatever. Do you call the police for bears? Who would you even call? But you can see it in the video. She is filming, so clearly took the time to get her phone and film it.
Right, which always makes me laugh.
Maybe she didn't expect it to come up to the porch, because she's on the porch and she's filming it, and it's sort of in the courtyard, driveway, what have you. But then it starts to come up on the porch, and she's like, "Oh no, no, go away!" And it actually turns and goes away.
Aww.
And I'm just like, "What?
Good job, Mr. Bear."
Well, good job, Mom.
Well, yeah, I just really like saying the phrase "Mr. Bear."
But I don't know how that works, because I remember you're supposed to make yourself bigger for mountain lions and smaller for bears, right?
Right. Well, my favorite thing growing up was, you could climb a tree to get away from certain kind of bears. It depends on their claws. If they have certain kinds of claws, they can climb trees. If they have like the straighter claws, and I'm like, am I really going to have the presence of mind to look and find out what kind of a bear I'm looking at as to whether I can climb a tree or not?
Let me take this millisecond. Okay, those claws. Okay, good. Let me get up. No. Yeah, I'd probably freeze because, again, no experience whatsoever. But she was just like, I'm not having this. We're not doing this. No. I would actually love to see her hand gestures. You can't see them in the video, but I can just sort of imagine hand gestures that would have to go along with that voice.
There would need to be hand gestures.
This is not happening right now. You are in trouble. I said, go away. And it does. I don't know why exactly it decided, yes, that is enough of a threat. I don't want to be grounded or something. Like, I don't know what exactly makes this bear turn around, but it does. It turns around and it walks back the way it came. Especially since, according to this mom, her mom voice doesn't actually work on her kids.
Well, because they're her kids, they're used to it. The bear was like, whoa.
Right? Oh,
I recognize the voice of authority.
Right? Or something. But just, yeah. Now, I mean, my first thought would, again, still be the Parent Trap with the sticks. Would that make a bear go away? Probably make a bear angry.
Yeah. Well, they might just come investigate. What is that sound? No, I don't know.
Oh, I'd be so screwed with a bear. And you hear stories about them because, they're looking for food or whatever, or again, a hot tub to dip in. And I'm just like, look, I know you don't mean any harm, but you are several 100 pounds of terrifying. So I need you to not be here. My
sister had a bear hanging out in her yard one summer, a couple of years ago. And they tend to come back to the same places each summer. So I don't think it came back, which is good because, she has small children. She wasn't thrilled with the bear in her yard. But,
right.
Yeah.
No, just
good times.
Or not good. When you started to say that, you paused just long enough after bear that I thought you were ending with "my sister had a bear." I was like, what are they doing in Montana?
No. Although, yeah, don't make wild animals pets either, people.
No, that's
also
always
don't
bad.
try to pose your kids with wild animals in the national parks. Stay away from the bison. Because the bison's just laying there like, they're like, oh, look, it's like a cow. Well, I'm just going to go put my kid over there. But yeah, bison are very, very dangerous.
Yeah, see, I have a healthy, almost too healthy, like fruit and veggies only fear of wild animals. So I'm not going anywhere near them, any of them.
Yeah.
Like, especially ones that I totally have heard stories of, like, mauling me.
Yeah.
Most definitely not.
Better to be safe. Absolutely.
So on that PSA note, we're going to end for today. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Weird News Podcast.